From Atlanta, Georgia, east side, to be specific.
Any other specific than that?
Being even more specific, I have to claim Decatur, you know what I'm saying? I done spent a lot of time with Decatur, either whether that be with my grandma, my little cousins, you know what I'm saying? Decatur, I done spent a lot of time in Decatur.
Still living in Atlanta?
So. I stay either between Atlanta and South Carolina.
What's in South Carolina?
My baby, my girlfriend, shout out to her, my baby mama.
Oh, okay, I got you. Was there a time you were just specifically living in South Carolina?
Yes, sir.
What age was that?
Shoot, I've been on and off in, well, not on and off, but I was in South Carolina the last 3 years.
Oh, so fairly recent.
Fairly recent, yep.
Now, growing up in Atlanta, what was that like for you? Can you paint that picture for us?
All right, so paint a picture of Atlanta, right? Boom. So you got a billboard. On the billboard, you got Willy Wonka. You got some Oompa Loompas, you know what I'm saying? Those are the little jokesters. Willy Wonka, that'd be like the top boss man guys, you know what I'm saying? Growing up in Atlanta, to make things short, bro, it's fun, outgoing, like it's a great place to be, you know what I'm saying? Got fine women, cool dudes, but at the same time, like, it's part of Atlanta a lot of people don't see, it's like the struggle, you know what I'm saying? I done seen a lot of struggle out here in Atlanta, like, it's a lot more real than people think it is, so that's Atlanta.
Now, your struggle, somebody may look at, look, man, he didn't really struggle like that, and somebody's like, wow, he really struggled like that. So there's different levels of struggle. What your struggle to someone else might not be so bad. But for you, what was maybe your bottom point of the struggle?
All right, so I'm gonna keep it 100. Bottom point of the struggle had to take you to ending off high school and, you know what I'm saying, a little bit after that. I was constantly in trouble, like getting kicked out of the house. I was home hopping, you know what I'm saying? I was in legal troubles, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, I ain't had no food to eat because, like, I was thinking I was big and bad, so my mom, she wasn't really fucking with me like that. So, you know what I'm saying, really wasn't having no support. My grandma was helping me out a lot when I was staying with her. I was staying on the couch, you know what I'm saying, sometimes on the floor. We ain't had no food sometimes, so, you know what I'm saying, that's my most recent struggle.
What's the longest you went without eating?
As long as I went without eating, I had to say not straight. Like straight, the longest time I went without eating was like 3.5 days. That's when I was up in New York.
3.5 days
3.5
straight?
days, my man. 3.5 days.
No food?
No food. And it was like that for 2 weeks. Every 3.5 days, every 2 days, I went and had no food.
How do you survive?
So basically, I had like a whole bunch of like a little small, you ever know how you go to the Chinese restaurant, you had like them fortune cookies. Like on some real shit, bro, I had like fortune cookies. Like I found out I had some fortune cookies laying in my bag I ain't never found when I went up there. And like on some real shit every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? It's bad to talk about, bro, you know what I'm saying? But complete the question on, you know what I'm saying, I have to take like, maybe I eat half a fortune cookie in a day, half at nighttime. Like,
Fortune cookie, I imagine, is probably just sugar.
Shit, I don't know what it was, but I take that motherfucker like it was crab legs. I take it like it was some crab legs, man. Facts.
How are you able to, I mean, you're drinking water, I'm assuming, throughout the day. There's public water fountains, I'm
man,
sure.
the quality of water in New York is rough. So I was going off like a bottle every 2 days because like water was expensive. So I have like, it was like a bottle like this big of water every 2 days, and I drink some, like I try to save it. Like for them first 2 weeks I was up there, it was rough.
Never tried to go to like a public restroom or a public water fountain or something like that, tap water?
They tap, like I said, they tap water up there, like it got fuzz, it's like green, like they tap water look like green. Like I tried to, you know what I'm saying, when I first got up there, I was like, bro, y'all tripping, bro. Hey, this some water, bro. We drink this all the time back home. Drank it a couple times, bro, make your stomach hurt, give you some headaches. So I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just stack up my bread.
New York City?
New York. Like, they water up north is not good at all.
Smells funny, tastes funny?
It got bubbles, man. It look like carbonized water, green carbonized water, bro.
Now, to go without barely drinking, to go without barely eating, I'm imagining you would have hunger pains. I mean, like...
Yes, sir.
How do you even get through the day? Your stomach's growling?
I'll tell you what most of my days
The energy's probably low?
Most of my days was spent, because I was staying at a hostel. Like, what they didn't tell me was, like, the hostel was filled with homeless, like, it was a place for homeless people. And, like, you know what I'm saying, like, drug addicts. Most of my day, bro, like, was spent either sleeping in my room, because I didn't want nobody to steal my stuff, or, like, every now and then, like, I go around looking for, on some real bum shit, like, I go around looking for quarters, you know what I'm saying? This was until I got back on my feet, you know, it got better after that. I ain't gonna shit on the hoes, you know what I'm saying, but it got better, but, yeah, it was bad, bro.
So you were homeless?
Literally. It got worse when I came back down south.
How long would you say you were homeless for?
Well, I'd say for about from January to March. From last January to that March. So for 3 months.
3 months.
And some of it was, a month was in that hostel. I spent 2 months either sleeping on the floor in my boy dorm room, bro. I was sleeping on the floor in the dorm room by a trash can. Either that or when like he was sleeping, couldn't let me in, I'd be sleeping outside.
So you had a friend to rely on, you had grandma to rely on.
Yes, sir. My mom helped out too. Like when she found out I wasn't eating, she hooked me up. She was like, Kimo, you need to eat something. Cause like, you know, like she could see the difference in me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired, like frail, like, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you need to eat. So, you know what I'm saying? She helped me out. She sent me some bread.
How much weight you think you lost?
I can tell you for facts, I lost, I was at like 140, you know what I'm saying? I'm 166 right now, but I was at like 140 when I came back down. I lost about 15.
Even though you weren't eating, you were able to sleep, able to shower, hygiene?
Yeah, but I ain't really like to sleep like that, because like I said, it was a place full of, and it's not like judging nobody, but most of the people I was sleeping with, like druggies, so like the room where I was staying wasn't the move, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be people that were staying there, be butt ass naked, like tripping, walking around. It was one room, like a small ass room, the size of a jail cell, maybe 2 jail cells. They had two bunk beds in there, and it was 4 people to a room. There was one dude was cool, shout out to Andre. But them other folks I was staying with wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Some of them was all right. Usually it wasn't the best environment, so I tried my best, like I'd shower. If I could wake up before them, I'd shower, but if not, I was showering like once every 2 3 days, and you know what I'm saying? I was trying my best not to fall asleep in the room. I sleep like outside or on the couch or something.
That bad? You didn't want to sleep in the room?
Bro, them folks, man, we had this one dude used to come in drunk every night, bro, like wake me, hey, yo, Cap, yo, like, hey, bro, like, let's fight real quick. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to sleep, bro, like, move, get on with that. Dude used to walk around, bro, it was a crazy-ass situation, bro. Crazy situation, bro. Crazy.
Did you have a phone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to my mom, man. She was gonna cut it off, you know what I'm saying, until she found out I was struggling. She was paying my phone bill once during that time.
Probably pretty cold out in New York around them times, too. You said January to March might have been freezing.
January, it was a snowstorm, my first day. The plane couldn't even land. Like, I spent my last little, cause I was actually on the run. I was on the run, so I went up, I was like, fuck it, where I'm gonna go to? So I went up to New York, man. My first day up there was a snowstorm. It was a rough day. I got scammed out of like $80. Like, it was a bad first day, bro. It was a bad first day.
Why New York of all places?
So, the life I was living, I knew, like I said, I was on the run. I was on bail in Georgia, and I had just got in some legal trouble in South Carolina, so I had to skirt. I was like, man, if I go back home, like, I ain't want to live in the living situation I had back home. So I was like, let me find out, like, what do I want to do? I was like, I can't go back to baseball. I was like, I can't go to school. I was like, I might be able to get a job, I might not. So I was like, what I'm gonna do? I was like, I'm gonna rap. So I looked up the, you know what I'm saying, the 3 most popular places outside of Atlanta: Los Angeles, New York, and Miami. So after like comparing my options, I said, shoot, Los Angeles too far away in case some shit happen. You know what I'm saying? I said, Miami, rough down there. I was like, I don't know nobody in Miami, you know what I'm saying? But I was like, New York, I got a couple, you know what I'm saying? I was like, got a couple stuff I can fuck with up there. So I was like, let me go try. I was like, they got the Breakfast Club, they got this. I'm gonna go up there to these folks' office every morning. I'm gonna be harassing folks. So I was like, New York gonna be the move.
Did you harass folks?
Yes, sir. For like the first week until I realized how cold it was.
Who were you harassing?
Man, so I ain't gonna say, it was one of the producers for the Breakfast Club. It wasn't like the main three, it was one of the producers for the Breakfast Club. I seen her like the first 3-4 days I go up there. And then she thought she was slick. Cause I was getting up there like 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock? I think it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. She thought she was slick and came in an hour early one time. What she didn't know was I was getting up there at like 3 in the morning, but I just would come around or they block around like 4 o'clock in the morning. So. But it got too cold for that, man. It got too cold for that. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't prepared for no New York cold.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, okay, sounds pretty rough what you're describing.
Yeah, facts.
And there are different levels to being homeless. At first, you kind of said you were home hopping.
Right.
That's probably, okay, there's different levels to being homeless. Some are worse than others. That's probably the easiest or the best level, and I say best respectively. But house hopping, going from couch to couch, going from house to house. It can get worse. Shelter would probably be next. And you kind of did the hostel thing, so that's kind of like in the same level maybe. Worse than that, living out of a car. Some people do that. Worse than that, sleeping on a park bench outside in the elements. Worse than that, begging for money out in the field. At one point, you were searching for quarters, but did you ever get to the level of actually begging for money?
No, sir.
With a sign or?
I ain't never get down that bad, man. Thank God my mom stepped in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to, but you know, I have a loving family, so I'm gonna shout out to her, but I ain't never get that bad.
But you were searching for quarters.
Search for quarters, dimes, nickels. I would take anything except for pennies.
And you were eating a fortune cookie a day, drinking some water. One person watching this would be like, why don't you just ask for money?
I guess it's just it was hard for me to ask my mom for some money, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even ask her. She offered it once she realized. So it's like, I'm not gonna ask my mom for no money. Like, I'm definitely not gonna ask no stranger for no money. It's like, I feel like my next step, it'd be days, bro, I'd be trying to like steal. Like, I ain't get to it, you know what I'm saying? Cause I feel like too much of a bum, bro. Like, I go into stores, think about just taking bags of chips, going to 7-Eleven, take a hot dog, like, and just dip. But I could never do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't get down that low, so I couldn't definitely not ask nobody for no money.
A lot of pride.
A lot of pride. Too much pride. I'd rather get up and work. I end up getting a job.
How?
So, before I went up there, I'm smart, you know what I'm saying? Before I went up there, I applied for the job. Chick-fil-A, the first Chick-fil-A that was up there. I had a lot of Chick-fil-A experience, so you know what I'm saying? I applied for the job. And the interview was the following week I got there, and I didn't get the job, like I didn't get to start working. To that next week, like my first full week there, and I didn't get my first check to the third week, was the first week I was straight. So for them first 2 weeks was when I was fucked up.
And you used the hostel as an address?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was using either the hostel or Atlanta. Like when I applied, I put my Atlanta location, but when I moved up there, like I was telling the people there, yeah, I stay. I wasn't telling them I stayed at a hostel, but I was like, yeah, I'm renting a room, you know what I'm saying, at this location.
So you end up getting a job. Okay, so the first day you get to New York, you're doing the Snowstorm thing. How soon before you're actually physically working at Chick-fil-A? 2 weeks in?
2 weeks in.
Okay. And that first week you're harassing Breakfast Club producer.
First week. Yep.
But you were living in the hostel from jump.
From jump.
Now, I understand the ego, the pride, but did you ever have feelings, because you didn't mention this, so I'm going to ask, did you ever have feelings of depression?
Yes, sir. That was another reason why I went up there. I was escaping. outside of like the legal stuff, I had a whole bunch of personal stuff I was going through. So like me going through that whole little situation just made everything worse. So it wasn't until I started working at Chick-fil-A I started feeling better. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cause I had people around me that was fucking with me, and like some people started to just assume things. It was like, bro, why keep on sneaking food at work? Why? You know what I'm saying? They were like, why Cap? Like my manager was like, come on, bro, you can't keep doing that. Just ask us for extra food. Like my employees, they was like, Cap, why we keep sneaking you burgers, like sandwiches and stuff? Like what's going on? So you know what I'm saying? When I got people like that cared about me, I was like, man, fuck all them other people that don't care. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, this situation gonna get better. I'm just keep working hard. I was like, when you got you a support system behind you, you can't do nothing but, you know what I'm saying, build up. But yeah, depression was definitely there.
When you say sneaking burgers, what do you mean? Like taking an extra burger or something? Or
Man, fuck an extra burger. So like when you work at Chick-fil-A, they usually give you either a limit of stuff you could buy, or they give you like a free #1 meal. I'm sorry, Adrian, when you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry in advance. With them, they give you like, most Chick-fil-A's give you a free #1 meal, like a limit. So down in between, like I get there in the morning, sometimes I work a double shift, but you still only get that one.
Oh.
It's like in between, I'm like, hey, yo, bro, Ramon, bro, pass me like a spicy filet. You know what I'm saying? I just go to the back, eat me a spicy filet in the back of the kitchen, because I work in the kitchen. I'll be like, yo, bro, pass me some strips. I go in the back, eat me some strips, maybe eat me a piece of toast. And like when I got my #1, like this really did fuck me up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good worker, but you know what I'm saying? When I got my #1, they let us make our own bag. So I just put more than, like I put a soup in that motherfucker. I put some extra toast in there, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You were stealing from the Chick-fil-A.
Stealing from the Chick-fil-A, yeah.
Not comfortable stealing from the gas station or probably a level of comfort there.
Yeah. I'll tell you the thing is, you know what I'm saying, we employees, so it was kind of like, it is stealing, but when you're an employee, it's like, oh shit, fuck it, what's the worst, you know what I'm saying? Like the managers was doing the same thing, man, like, except they was more worse, like they just used their bare hand and just ate stuff, so like when I seen it, I was just like, shit, fuck it, hey, they just eating, they want it, I'm eating, I need it.
Ever have suicidal thoughts during this time?
During this time, no. No, not during this time. Beforehand, yeah. Like once, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't drink or smoke or nothing like that. Like, bro, I drunk the fuck out of myself. I was like, bro, like I'm gonna get drunk as hell. Bro, I don't give a damn no more. But that was just one night. That was one night. After that, I got my shit together.
But we're talking about this homeless period specifically.
Oh, nah.
Had depression, but didn't have suicidal thoughts?
No. No
thoughts of crashing it out and losing it all?
No.
Like, let's rob a bank.
After those,
big heist here.
I did. Now, I did think about that. But when you see how many cameras it is up north, it's a whole different story. You know what I'm saying? You can't get away with nothing like that up there. Can't do it. So I was like, bro, let me just keep working the hard way.
So it was pretty bad, but not bad enough where you thought about hurting yourself or hurting somebody else, or?
No.
Was the turning point the job? Was that what turned everything around?
Turning point was
the
job.
Or was it your mom honing in and, I don't know if she fixed the situation, but she grasped the situation and offered some help? I'll
tell you the exact day. The exact day everything got better, bro. It was a Friday, and the place I was staying, they'd only let you stay there for like 27 days straight. That Friday was my last day. And I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And in that moment I thought, and I said, shoot, I already know, like, since my mom helped me out, I can go back home. I was like, some of my employees, my employer, like some of my coworkers, they fuck with me. So they like, hey, yo, Cap, you know what I'm saying, you can come stay with us. Like, one of my other friends back home, hey, yo, bro, if you need a place to stay, bro, you got one. And that day right there, I got up out of my bed, I said, what am I trying to prove? Like, why am I tripping? I was like, I got a support system. I was like, fuck the people that ain't fucking with me. I was like, I got me a good support system. I said, I'm gonna go back home tomorrow. And I used my whole ass check and went back home tomorrow, that next day. And I didn't go back home to Atlanta. I went to South Carolina, but yeah.
So it was your last day at the hostel?
Last day at the hostel, man. And I was tripping. I was like, bro, I'm about to be real life homeless because I didn't want to live with somebody. But at the same time, like I really sat down and I thought about it. I said, why am I embarrassed to have people that support me? You know what I'm saying? And that right there really lifted my spirits.
You were making money, though, from Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
Was it not enough to get some sort of lodging?
So, you guys probably heard up north, living is expensive. So the other option that I had, one of the cheapest options, it was a lady renting out a room, a bedroom, for $600 a week. My weekly checks after taxes was like $300. After food, like paying for the bus, I was taking something called PATH. That cost like $40 a day. $40 a day for like 5-6 days a week is like most of my check. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had no money for that. I had enough money to barely eat and get to work on time.
Now, going through this homeless stretch, what did it teach you?
It taught me that, you know what I'm saying, no matter how bad it is, it could be worse. Because I seen a whole bunch of people that was there that ain't got no support system. Seen a whole bunch of people there that ain't got no friends. Seen a whole bunch of people there that don't nobody care about them. So it taught me that people care about you and you got to appreciate them. That was the first thing it taught me. Second thing it taught me was don't ever give up. Because, like, them first 2 weeks was the roughest weeks I had in my life. Like, real shit. Like, not having no food, like, being so hungry you can't sleep. Roughest weeks of my life. Like, roughest 2 weeks of my life. But it told me don't ever give up, push through, and if you want to be strong enough, you can be strong enough to do what you want to do, what you have to do.
Now, somebody watching this, let's get some advice. Somebody watching this, about to be homeless. Circumstances could be different for everybody, but somebody watching this about to be homeless, what's any words of encouragement there? They're on the verge of being homeless. They're right on the brink. It's about to happen.
So we gonna assume
tell somebody
that today you got a place to stay, but tomorrow you don't. Whatever you got today, don't worry about paying your bills. Like this, you know what I'm saying? This is my honest to God like advice. Don't worry about paying your bills. Don't worry about trying to scrape up nothing to do what you got to do. Save that money so you can have some food to eat. Save that money so you can last to get through them, like my 2 weeks. Save you some money so you can have something to get through them weeks, because you never know what's going to happen afterwards. The third week, you might have an opportunity come up. So you don't want to just be fucked up. Now you ain't got no money because you spend it trying to pay your bills. Now you ain't got no money because you spend it trying to do this, save your bread. So, you know, just brace for the impact. Brace for the impact, because after it, the rescue ship going to come.
And then give us some advice about somebody about to get out of homelessness.
Hey, you done made it. Now, you ain't made it, because, you know what I'm saying, shoot, you about to be out. It don't mean you living good, you got bread, buy cars and shit like that. No. The same thing you did, like, brace for the impact, be respectful of your pockets. You know what I'm saying? You getting out, but you ain't good yet. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like probation. You can't commit no crimes, like stack your bread, still save your bread. So if an emergency come, you're not using your last money to save yourself. You're using some emergency money. You know what I'm saying? Save your bread. Live like you homeless.
This whole homeless stretch that you endured, could it have been prevented?
Yes. Yes. Yes and no. Yes and no. I feel like it was necessary. Before I went up there, I was really a wreck. Like, my life was fucked up. I was really gonna smash. Like, I was really getting ready to just, like, not give, like, I already didn't care about too much. Like, I really barely care about anything. But I was really getting ready to not care about nothing. And, like, I knew I just needed, like, to go through, I knew I needed a fresh start, like, to get away from everything. So I knew I needed to, but at the same time, I knew I could have just went back home with my dukes. I knew I could have just turned myself in, went to court. Knew I could have just did what I had to do. You know, I would have been straight.
Okay, this struggle, pretty bad, even though it was just for 3 months. And I'm sure there were some other struggles that you dealt with. This was the bottom point for you, though, as we had talked about earlier.
This gotta be of my struggles, this gotta be the bottom.
But you've had other struggles, though.
Yeah, I done had some other struggles.
Now, growing up, dealing with the struggle, I understand. But even though this picture you've described and painted, it sounded dismal, what was the most positive thing that you had growing up?
Most positive thing?
Yeah.
My mom. I love you. She the most positive thing I had. Times ain't always been perfect. It ain't always been great. It's been kind of fucked up. But my mom, man. Without my mom, like, I wouldn't be where I am. Like, I wouldn't be my mom, bro. She the strongest thing I ever seen in my life.